And when it comes to perspective and core values and purpose, no one has lived those better than my good friend and mentor, Bilas of ESPN. For any of you that don't follow basketball, just know Jay is the face of ESPN College Game Day. He is Mr. College Basketball. And back in early December of 2010, Jay was asked to call a game that pitted Duke versus Butler. And there was a lot of anticipation around this game because those were the two teams that met 9 months previously in the national championship game, where Duke narrowly escaped with a 2-point win. And it's very rare in college basketball that the two teams that meet on the biggest stage in early April meet again in early December. So like I said, there was a lot of anticipation around this game. Part of Jay's responsibility with ESPN is the day before he's going to call a game, he goes and he watches both teams practice so that he can learn their strategies, their keys to victory, learn everything he can about their personnel so that he's armed with plenty of fodder for the next day on air. Well, Jay, being a Duke alum, he decided that he was going to go watch Duke practice first. And at the time, Duke was led by recently retired Hall of Fame coach, Coach K, the all-time winningest coach in the history of men's basketball. And Jay went to the Duke practice and saw Coach K saying with great confidence, clarity, and conviction, guys, if you do what we do well, if you play to our strengths and you execute our game plan, we're going to be more than fine tomorrow because we clearly have a competitive advantage. See, we're bigger, stronger, and more powerful than they are. We're going to pound the ball down low and get easy layups and dunks. We're going to out-rebound them, and we're going to put a hand up to challenge every shot. You do what we do well, you play to our strengths, you execute our game plan, we're going to be more than fine tomorrow because we clearly have a competitive advantage. And Jay left that practice and was thinking, this might be an absolute massacre tomorrow. Coach K, one of the best to ever blow a whistle or hold a clipboard, just told his team definitively why they have a competitive advantage. But he needed to do his full due diligence. So he went to watch the Butler Bulldogs practice, who at the time were led by Coach Brad Stevens. 3 years ago, Brad Stevens was promoted from head coach to president of basketball operations with the world champion Boston Celtics. One of the greatest basketball minds I've ever been around. And to Jay's surprise, Coach Stevens was saying to the Butler Bulldogs with the exact same level of confidence, clarity, and conviction, guys, if you do what we do well and you play to our strengths and you execute our game plan, trust me, we'll be more than fine. Because we clearly have the competitive advantage. See, we're smaller, quicker, and faster than they are. We're going to be able to get tons of points on fast breaks and in transition. We'll put on a smothering full court press, and there's no way their big guys can get out to our corner shooters. You play to our strengths, you do what we do well, you execute our game plan, I promise you we'll be fine because we clearly have a competitive advantage. And Jay left that practice and was thinking, I got no idea who's going to win this game. Both of these Hall of Fame caliber coaches had the self-awareness and the team awareness to know what they do well, to know where their strengths lie. But most importantly, they knew what type of game plan they needed to execute to give them the best chance to be successful. And I share that with you for a very specific reason. Every one of you has talents. Every one of you has gifts. Every one of you has strengths that you need to make sure you are fully aware of and that you are investing in on a daily basis, because that's what's going to help separate you from the millions of people in the real estate game. You need to get crystal clear on the game plan that you need to execute based on your strengths and your talents to give you a competitive advantage. See, here's the thing about Coach K and Coach Stevens. They both were 100% correct. It's a matter of vantage point. It's a matter of opinion. It's a matter of perspective. It's a matter of what they chose to focus on. And I want to encourage each and every one of you to make the conscious decision to choose to focus on what it is that you do really, really well, what it is that you do at a world-class level, and continue to double down on that. That is how you create separation. That is how you give yourself a competitive advantage.